Hello, Finesse family. How's everybody doing today? Good day, everyone. Hopefully, everyone's having a great day today. Hopefully, everyone's having a good day. Let me get everything together. Good Monday for everyone. Okay, let's see. Okay, guys. Hopefully, everybody's having a great day. Hopefully, you guys are ready to talk about the topic at hand. We're dealing with Black culture today. Black culture and what is going on with it. Let's see. All right. Black culture and what is going on with culture today. We're going to talk about a couple key issues going on with the culture. We're going to see if we are doing too much in our culture. And we're just going to get to the hot topic items today. All right. Once again, hopefully everybody's having a good day. Okay. All right, guys. So if you do not know, my goal as a millennial is to use my wisdom to educate the world on how to be your best. And that life is really a finesse, guys. I'm an educator, a life coach, aspiring author, and a visionary. I will review topics and give my millennial mindset on them, and there is no limit to what I will discuss. All right. So, also, guys, just reviewing some of the other videos that I have put up. I got a lot of responses from some of you about those videos. So let's look over those. I do motivational videos too, guys. So make sure you guys are checking those out. The sweetie one with the sweepstakes. Yeah, guys, that's still going on. So if you eat McDonald's, you can go by there and get that. I just did another one too, guys, about the shortages, food shortages coming up. So make sure you guys go ahead and look at that. Food shortages in the different industries as far as like jet fuel, computer chips. If you're in the running to buy a new car or get a car, those are some important things, guys, that you want to pay attention to. So you might want to look at that video a couple times. I uploaded that, and it is called 2021 Food Shortage and Supplies Coming. Make sure you guys hit the like button and the subscribe button before we get started. Make sure you guys do that. Make sure you do that. Thank you. Somebody's already hit the like button. Also, guys, I did another updated video on there's a lady, guys, in Tennessee, and she's like really going viral about her video that she put up about her and her husband basically she's saying her husband left her and he didn't. When you read the husband's response, you find out that he did not leave her. They are in the separation. They're in the middle of a separation / divorce. So basically, he was picking up, cleaning up, I guess, the apartment. So when she came back from her little girls trip that she had, there wouldn't be a lot of stuff at the house. So blind guy, I clicked the like. Oh, thank you guys. Blind guy, his wife still alive. Thank you guys. So today, guys, the topic, and I had to switch the times around, guys. Has running around to do, but hopefully we can have a good conversation with this. So our topic, guys, is going to be Nick Canon and Nick Canon, and it says there was an article written. It says Nick Canon and the racial ploy being used to place Black America on the wrong side of the culture war. Okay, so basically, guys, If you don't know, you should by now. Nick Canon has been in the news a lot because he has a lot of mothers to his children. I guess recently he has another person that's going to be having a baby by him. I saw that ridiculous story. I felt girl, get your life straight. But she couldn't hear me, so yeah. Blind guy, his wife, their life was saying she's seen one of the stories that I'm going to elaborate on. So good, we can have a good discord here in the chat with the viewers because I thought it was really interesting how this person broke it down. So if you don't know this guy, his name is Jason Whitlock, and let me give you guys background on him. If you don't know who Jason Whitlock is, some of you may know him. Some of you may know him. So he is an American sports journalist and a culture critic. And Whitlock is a columnist, a podcaster, and digital TV host for Blaze Media. Okay, so he's with Blaze Media, where he hosts the TV show Fearless with Jason Whitlock. Whitlock is a former columnist at the Kansas City Star, AOL, FoxSport.com, and ESPN. So, yeah, he's been in a lot of places. All right. So, we're going to break down what was in his article. And I want to talk about that as a whole, as a community, so we can actually get these conversations out. All right. So, basically, when we start off in the article, he's saying, now this is Jason Whitlock. He's saying this just about the Black culture in general. He's saying that corporate media wants us to believe racism is the heart of America's fragmentation. So he's saying, I guess, uh, racism is not the heart. This is what people are pushing about America and Americans. All right. The truth is, it's a lack of shared values. So he's saying it's not racism. It's we have different values that we share differently. So racism is not a problem, he's saying. Okay. The media fixation on race and racism distracts us from seeing what's obvious. Okay. So now he's getting into it. He says we're just kind of distracted. Um, he says we've raised at least two generations of young people who reject this country's founding principles. Americana and Hollywood have demonized Western civilization and responsible men. So, guys, do you think that is the blame for what's going on today in our genre and our culture with our males? He says it's academia. I'm sorry, I said Americana. Academia, which basically means school, learning what you learn in school. And then he says Hollywood has demonized the Western civilization and responsible men. So he's basically putting the blame on school and Hollywood. Okay. What do you guys think about that? So then he goes in on Nick Canon. So that's kind of what this conversation is about. I want us to really discuss and go into what is going on with our culture. Is this a common thing now moving forward? And if there's anybody that can explain or say what we can do to change it, I am open to hear that also. And I'll give my little synopsis on it. So basically he says Nick Canon told, well, basically two guys. Nick Canon was on the Breakfast Club, and this is what sparked this, what he said on the Breakfast Club. And I'm going to quote what he said. You're flexing on us with the fact. Yes, I am, aren't I? Normally, guys, like, I'm always kind of uppity dressy like this. So I was like, you know what? Let me just put that cap out so they know. But thank you. Glad you guys like what I got on. But yeah. Trying to get that stage presence going. Some days I'm just going to be, But, this is kind of who I am on a regular day. All right, so basically, guys, this is what he said on the Breakfast Club, which was really interesting. And I know it's going to ruffle a lot of feathers. So that's why I knew it was a good topic to get this conversation started. All right, so this is what he said on the Breakfast Club. He said, you guys know what the Breakfast Club is. It says it's a popular urban radio show and TV show if you don't know. He said the concept of traditional marriage is racist. So before I get into that part, what do you guys think about that? The concept of traditional marriage is racist. I bet you guys want to know why he said that. He said the concept of traditional marriage is racist. The concept of traditional marriage is racist. Now, and you wonder, like, where does he get this ideology from? Why does he think that it's racist? Well, we're going to find that out. All right. So it says, this is his explanation, guys. This is his concrete, definitive evidence to prove why it's racist to be married in America. Okay, here we go. He says, it's a Eurocentric concept when you think about the idea of you're supposed to have one person for the rest of your life. This is what Canon says. And really, that's just to classify property when you think about it. So he basically saying that European people thought this up. They're the only ones, and they're the only reason why we would do something as crazy as staying with somebody our whole life. And it really has nothing to do with anything except us classifying property. What do you guys think about that? There's no purpose for it. He's basically saying this is why his lifestyle. This is in turn why he does what he does and lives the way he does. So basically, he says, those women and all men are the ones that open themselves up and say, I would like to allow this man into my world and I will birth this child. It ain't my decision. I'm just following suit. So basically, that's what he's saying, guys. He's right. He's not making these women do anything. This is what they want to do. This is what they're choosing to do. And he's procreating. All right. So we also know, guys, there's also some underhanded outcome to this. He's procreating, but purposefully, is he procreating? And then you got to think about it. We know what Mariah Carey, obviously, she has money. So the first person that he had babies with, she has money already. So we know that's not really a come up from Mariah. The only come up we can see from her is that she was older than him. So she got her a young one, a young tenderoni for our throwbackers. She got her a young one, so she actually is on the come up. But the other women, I don't think any of the other ones are on his stature at all, or any of them have any, I guess you could say, money, wealth, anything like that. So they were on the come up. The other women that he has children by. Let's see. Blind guy, his wife says Nick Canon has a point with his words, but he's making a whole different point with exactly. Like, and then guys, if you don't know the history of Nick Canon, we can really go back to, I think that was earlier this year. Was that earlier this year or last year? Well, I think he recorded the video actually last year, but he put the video out this year and he got a huge backlash with the Jewish community because he was basically saying his ideals of what he felt like the blacks in America, where they came from. And then once he did that, the Jewish community went in on him to where he got canceled everywhere, to where his show that he actually started, I guess, wrote and produced, Wild Out, they canceled that. A lot of the TV shows that he was doing, you didn't really see him on the shows anymore. You didn't know where he was at. But all of a sudden, guys, I don't know if you've seen the commercials, he is back on TV. He actually is going to have a daytime show. So I don't know how he got back in good qualms with people, but he did. So kind of his understanding and his saying is neither here or there with him. Sometimes it's like Blind Guy was saying, and his wife, it's some of the things he might say make sense, and then again he goes back and contradicts what he says. All right. Also, just for understanding, he's 40 and he has 7 children with 4 different women. All right. And it says Nick Canon is a sperm donor and an ATM automated teller machine. He basically argued that he's not responsible for the children he creates beyond financial contribution. What do you guys think about that? He says he's not responsible for the children beyond what he can provide monetarily. So what's the purpose then? You're creating kids, but you're not facilitating the time where you can be with those kids so they can have a definitive father that's there to help them, that is there to be emotionally, somebody that they can talk to, somebody that can discipline, somebody that they can count on. I'm not sure what he his mindset is on that. Because if that's the case, then yeah, everybody in the world can just go and procreate. And but it's substance to it. You have to be some type of substance to that child that you're creating. You can't just make them and then leave them. And this is why there's so much dysfunction now in the world, in the country, especially in America, because there's so many kids that don't have their father in their life, or they might have a father, but he's not doing his role, or he's not being there for them like they need him to be. So that becomes a huge emotional issue, and that's another thing that Americans have not dealt with, the emotional backlash, the emotional consequence of not having the father and the man in the house. And seems like generationally, that is what has happened in the last couple generations with the Black culture, which can be scary. This is why we're having this conversation now. Okay, JP the Aspiring Matriarch, good afternoon, beautiful spirit. Glad to make your stream. Loving the new do. Oh, thank you guys. Had to flip it on up. But thank you guys for the compliments. I appreciate that. So if you're coming into the stream now, our conversation today is about Nick Canon and his ideals and how this is going to affect, or how this might pollute the Black culture, and what can we do moving forward as far as our culture and the ideals that we have. All right. So basically, we were started off talking about Nick Canon. There was somebody that did an article on him, a guy named Jason Whitfield, and he basically is analyzing why Nick said what he said and how that is going to affect our culture, especially the Black culture. All right. So also going into this too, just so you guys have some substance to who we're talking about and why we're talking about him. We're talking about Nick Canon, and he has 7 children with 4 different women. And basically, his first ideals, or his explaining or understanding to why he's doing what he's doing, is he said that it's a Eurocentric concept. He's talking about being married. He said it's a Eurocentric concept when you think about the idea of you're supposed to have just one person for the rest of your life, Cannon said. And really, that's just to classify property when you think about it. But what's funny is, were you thinking this when you married Mariah? Like, how did this change? Is it because you had a bad marriage with her, or a bad outcome to your marriage? So you're just like, let me just flex it and change it all up. Let me change the modus operandi, because that's what I noticed. A lot of people will totally go the opposite direction when they get a bad experience with a situation. And I think that is distorted because you haven't really gave enough time or had enough experience with your one thing to put out there in the environment, in the world, and sabotage somebody else's goal, role, or somebody else's, I guess you could say, way to get to experience that, because it's jaded now because they've heard your perception of it. So I thought that was just kind of, I think his perception is that way because of how he experienced his first marriage with Mariah Carey. And so now he's just justifying doing whatever he wants to do. That's what he's doing. Okay, JP says, let me go back. Blind Guy, his wife, their life says, my thing is, if you have children with close ages in different locations, it's just unfair to the children's time. And it's not a second generation from us. And it's not like it's a second generation. That's my thing right there, Blind Guy, his wife. It's so not fair. And it's so egotistical for you to say that these women are not complaining and I'm doing that. I'm not making them, they're doing it. But you really not thinking about the livelihood of the children. You're not thinking about the well-being of the children. And this is why we're having this topic. We already understand our Black culture and our children. We have a bad stigma, and we have a bad ideal of the marriage, of family, of how our culture is seen over the years, hundreds of years. So it is really important that now that you know better, you do better. And you need to make a change. And it's not fair. We know his kids are not in the same city. They're spread out probably between different states across the country. So yeah, Blind Guy, his wife, you're right. That's not fair for you to do that just because it's easy to get pregnant and have babies. but it's hard to really be the mother or the father. That's the hard part. The whole journey of the 18 years plus. It's easy to make them, but can you do the right thing to produce them and let them be good prospects in society instead of menaces to society? Good point, blind guy. His wife, JP, the inspiring matriarch, says legacy isn't just DNA. You have to put morals and values into your children. Facts. And that's hence how we get to the black culture and what is going on, because it's so frustrating, because people are making babies and people are not putting even good morals and values into the kids that they're making, because one, they're mad at the baby mama, baby daddy, so they take that out and they dump that into the children, and then there's this aggression and this negative just energy coming off from the mothers and the fathers, and it's nothing where it's emotional. I put it in that terms. I feel like it's very emotional. It's not logical, because if you're logical, you, especially if you came from a single parent household, you're thinking about your children first. You're thinking about, you know what, I can't stand that person, but I know this, my child is going to feel this worse than me. So I need to put on a good face and respect that other person, because I laid down with them. It wasn't forced. Nobody made this. I did it. So you need to take the brunt of the responsibility. Good point, JP. Blind guy, his wife, their life. Hey there, JP, long time no see. So blind guy says hey to JP, the inspiring matriarch. And she says, hope the podcast went well. She says, I got my first donation. Good, JP. She says she got her first donation today. So very good for your podcast and your donation. Good, good, good. All right, guys. So let's get back into the topic. All right. Do you guys think that's reckless for him to say that? He says, those women, all those women, are the ones that open themselves up and say, I would like to allow this man into my world and I would birth his children. What do you guys feel about him saying that? Okay, let's see. So the guy, Jason Whitfield, this is what he basically says about what he's hearing Nick Canon say. He says he's a typical leftist elitist. Here we go. He's entitled and irresponsible. I can concur with that. What do you guys think? I would not want to live in the same neighborhood as Nick Canon. He's weak. America is filled with weak men who want out of the driver's seat, men who spur responsibility and spurn responsibility and accountability. So let's talk about that, guys. So basically, he's saying he feels like he's an elitist because he knows that he has the money to take care of these kids. So he really doesn't care if he's making them or not, because he's got money to take care of them. If these women were to take him to child support court, he doesn't care because he has the money to take care of them. All right. Also, it says he's weak. All right. So I know that's a stigma that's going around. Beta male, weak male, you're not doing anything, you can't take care of anything, you're less than. That's a common phrase, especially in the Black community. Do you guys think he's weak for that? Um, okay, is it in your description? I'm trying to see, how do I do it? Let's see. I just copied it from the page and put it in there. Let me see. Give me 1 second. So yeah, guys, while I'm doing this, while I'm checking this out, you guys let me know. Do you think he's a leftist? Do you think he's weak? Do you think that he is entitled? What do you guys think? Put that in the chat and let me try to fix this. What blind guy, his wife, their life was saying. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me do it on my tablet. Are you saying in the stream description? Are you guys saying actually on my homepage? Because I just added it. Let's see. Your channel. Okay, so blind guy, his wife, their life. Did you guys see it in when you go to my about page? Do you see it on that link? Because I just added. I just figured out how to add it. Go there and see if that link works on my about page. On my page, You either go to Miss B Finesse or Millennial Finesse Mindset. And let me know if that link works. No, it's inside of your you. Okay. Let me go to studio. Let me try it. Copy. Paste. Oh, okay, it works. So what I did, Blind Guy, His Wife, Their Life, when you go into it, I just copied where it says the buy me a coffee part, and then I pasted it, and then it brought up the page. And it says Miss B Finesse is healthy and meaningful mindsets. So let me know if it works again. Okay, so JP, the aspiring matriarch, says, and here it is. Money doesn't take care of children, though. What about the idea that these women have no clue how to be a mother? If he were actually choosing potential mothers, that might be different. And that's kind of JP, that's his spew, JP. He was kind of basically alluding to he is picking the prime of the cream of the crop. And I think he's going by aesthetics. He's going by how these women look. So in his mind, his kids are going to be cute and light skinned, and so to him, he's picking good women. Okay, because he has a type. We can see that he definitely has a type. And I think in his idealistic mindset, he feels that as long as he's producing aesthetically well-looking kids, that they are going to be okay, and that is not the issue. Matter of fact, they might just they might be so angry with him when they get older, because we know this, because we all have children here. Once a child gets so much and so many things, the child is really stuck at a miss. They don't want anything really except love. Our society has come to a point where there is so much commercialism and there's so many things to buy, which is capitalism, that they will take things, but a child just wants love, attention, affection. They want you to give them accolades. They want you to pay attention to them. They want you to praise them. If you have that, they'll be as happy as they want to be. And this is why, if you notice, if you look at rich families compared to families that are poor, most of the time you see in the poor families, there's a bigger family connection or bond. There's a bigger bond because they're not stuck on the superficial things that keep that family together. They actually base it on the things that are important, which is love and connection in the family. No, it is inside of your YouTube channel set up. Okay, let me see. Blind JP, did you guys see it? Is it working? Live stream. Congrats. Donations. You've got all the places set up. Nice. Oh, JP, Blind Guy, His Wife, Their Life, says, congrats on the donations. She says, you've got all the places set up. Nice at JP, the aspiring matriarch. So congrats, JP. Congrats to you. Guys, let me know if it's working. I just copied exactly what was in the bio, so I'm not sure how that works. Yay! It's working. Thank you, guys. Oh, I just put this up, guys. So let me give a shout out to my first coffee latte buy. I'm so excited, guys, because I'm just so you know history. If you don't know about me, I just got into YouTube. I just grew and helped build my family of my little YouTube struggle streamers, and we're in it to win it, and we support each other. So if you see this live in the future, you'll know when we come up, like how we're bringing each other up, and I so support and appreciate what is going on, that we are building confidence. Like we're not just here talking, we're like actually putting into each other to like make something like awesome. So I thank you. I appreciate that. Blind Guy, His Wife, Their Life. That is so encouraging. You guys just don't understand. And everybody coming in, hitting the likes, everybody subscribing to me, everybody giving me feedback. I love it. It's just so great that we can piggyback off of each other, especially as Black people here in America. If you don't know, we're in America. I just love it, guys. It keeps me going, especially on the days, you guys know I'm a new mom. I'm tired. I'm trying to get stuff done. This is awesome. So thank you guys for the support. JP the Expiring Matriarch says, yay. She says the link in your about page works. Yes, and Miss B Finesse. So I'm gonna try to fix that then. I just copied it. I'm not sure. Maybe I have to. You guys might have to show me after the live how to make it an active link, because I think that's probably what I didn't do. I just copied and pasted it. Just fix it in your video description too for the future to go back and adjust your description so all the links are blue. So yeah, I'm gonna talk to you guys probably after the live to see if it clicks on that, if it pops up, because if you copy it and then you paste it in there, it should come up. But I'm struggle figuring it all out, guys. I'm just doing it one day at a time. So I definitely will. Let me see if I can do that right now. Update the link in the stream. But let's get back to what we're talking about, guys, because we're having a good conversation on this back and forth. So the last thing that we had said was JP, the Aspiring Matriarch, was basically saying how yeah, anybody can sit down and lay down and make these babies, but like you're not thinking about the well-being of these children. And guys, what's so interesting to me is like children can come from a household with a mother and father and still have issues. So think about how you are coming from a single parent household and you have this famous father and he is doing everything for everybody. That would have to be the worst. He's making people laugh. He's everywhere. He's on TV. You might see him if one of his other children live in the same city he's in, he might be spending more time with that child. That's got to be a heavy toll. I think that would probably have to be the worst, to be the child of a famous person, especially if that person is not married to your mother or father, because you won't get to see them. So, I mean, I don't think he's really thinking about that. And it's funny because I'm pretty sure Nick Canon came from a single parent household. I think he knew his dad, but I believe he stayed with his, I don't know if it was mother or his grandmother, but he knows about that. So I'm not sure where it twisted with him. I'm not sure where it twisted with Nick, but yeah, we all know this. Anybody with a logical mindset knows that it's not the best situation for a child to be in. It's not at all. Let's see. All right, cool. So let's get more into this, guys. Let's see. Hey, my vivid life's in the house. Good day. Hello, Miss B, popping into the show to show support. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, so let's see. So it says the 7 kids with 4 baby mamas formula has yet to be proven as effective as the 7 kids with the white formula. That's a good hashtag right there. So let's talk about that, family. Let's talk about why in the Black culture it is so natural and normal to have this baby mama, baby daddy culture. And I think we talked about this too. I remember this coming in and out of a lot of the lead attorneys' lives where he was talking about this. But what is it? What do you guys think is the predominant issue with it? Why does nobody want to be married and have a family and do it quote unquote the right way? But there's studies, guys. It shows and it's proven it does work. It works. You live longer when you're married. The men are more happier when they're married. And you guys know, nobody can even say this. After a certain amount of time when you're by yourself or you're being single and doing the single thing, that stuff gets old. Like you don't want, who really in their heart, unless you're still on some childish mindset, wants to keep coming home to them by themselves or keep being with a person, but you know in your heart that person is not like committed to you. That gets old after a while. Yeah, it's fun and good when you're younger and I think in a sense you're meant to do that from like teens going maybe into 20s. But we know women mature quicker mentally than men do. So with that being said, it gets old. And people will tell you that it gets old. A lot of us have talked about this, especially on different lives that we're on. That stuff gets old. So at a certain point, you got to want to do better and want more, or you're going to get the same thing. And I really believe you get what you project. I really believe that, guys. Because if you know you're with somebody and they're treating you bad and you stay with them, you're going to keep getting that because you feel like, and I get it, everybody's been through that. You feel like that person you're with, you're not going to get anybody better. So you stay. I think that's a human nature attribute. And I never knock anybody for that. And I never will. I don't think anybody has the right to do that. Why did you stay in that relationship? You're dumb. You're stupid. Why don't you go? Because our human natural behavior is fight or flight. So naturally we feel like we don't want to go because that's scary. So we're fighting to stay in it. We're not gonna go anywhere because we're thinking we can't get anybody else. We're too old, too comfortable, got too many kids with them. So that's natural. Okay. So I do want to take that stigma away for people that say, well, why'd you stay so long? Because I'm human. And I thought they loved me and I thought I loved them. Okay, so I don't want to push that kind of agenda with that. But when you see it, you need when you see signs, guys, people show you who they are, they really show it to you. You better like pay attention to that. Okay. You gotta move when you see stuff. You can't just keep saying, oh, that's so cute that he punched me in the face. It's not cute. You gotta get out and get help, seriously. Okay, let me go back to the chat. Let's see. JP the Aspiring, make sure I'm going back to my earlier question, says, it is our culture. Is it our culture or American culture? That's a good one. That is a good tag right there. Is it our culture or American culture? That need to be a shirt, JP the Aspiring. Make sure I might have my husband make that shirt. Is it our culture or an American culture? And that's kind of what we're delving into. These things, these norms that we aspire to or that we say that are factual. Is this something that we just are following or is this something that we've been taught? Let's see. Blind Guy, his wife says, hey, Vivid Life. JP says, hey, glad to see you. Struggle Streaming Sis. She said, glad to see you in these streets to my Vivid Life. And my Vivid Life says, some people don't get to commit to anyone. Yeah, good point. Some have become more selfish, seeking immediate gratification, and then on to the next one. Let's stop and let's talk about that one because that's interesting how you worded that, and that's something that I've always said in my Vivid Life. I feel like this culture is, especially like the teenagers and the early 20 somethings coming into like teenage, like 20, 21, 22. I feel like there are what is that? Burger King, have it your way. That's what they want. They want it their way. They want it now. They want it with no issues and no troubles. And if they have any hiccups, they're gone. And that's so sad, guys, because anybody that has been in a meaningful, true relationship, and I have to say meaningful because some people have not even had that, which is sad. There's going to be ups and downs, guys. So that's the thing. The trueness of a committed relationship is, did you stay when it was down? And did you have enough maturity to go through that and still learn and move to the next level with your partner? I think that's the important thing that's not being taught. Or maybe these kids just aren't listening when the elders and the parents are teaching them that. That's the sad thing. Like, they don't understand it. And guys, it goes into just American culture. You're going to find a prince and you're going to ride off into the sunset and everything's going to work and you're going to be happy. And you're not going to have any issues. And he's always going to do right. And he's always going to put the toilet seat down. And he's always going to make the bed. And he's going to always have a job and take care of you. So many norms that are pushed out. And our kids are not ready for reality. Like I said, I've worked with students and young adults. And I know and I see it. And it's sad because they aren't taught basics. They don't understand that everything is not roses. And they don't understand they're not taught to, what do I do when I hit this roadblock? Now what do I do? Instead of, you'll never have a roadblock. It's going to be perfect and the sky's going to be blue. And I think that right there is a catapult that created this culture and made it so that it's such a huge juxtaposition from reality to what they think. And it's really sad because it's like, it's okay. These teenagers think it is okay to just go sleep around with people. It's their normal. And I remember talking to some teenagers before, and I'm like, okay, they're like, I'm friends. And I remember like, okay, you guys are friends. And the other kid in the back was like, yeah, benefits. And I'm just like, what? Like, I say, guys, I don't get it. Like, if you're not that person's boyfriend or girlfriend and they don't want to be with you, why do you even think to that level to be having sexual intercourse and doing all these things together? And yeah, somebody might say, Oh, well, what world do you live in? I, I'm in a world that I'm not going crazy with all these goofy spirits going through my head, having me act crazy and want to key your car and want to hurt you and want to go to social media and do all this stupid stuff. Like, it's so sad. They don't have any expectations, these teenagers. So it's not an expectation that you need to be committed to me. There is no norm for that, and so hence why we have the baby mama baby daddy culture, and it's so prevalent now. I'm not saying it didn't happen in the past, going back to the 60s, the 50s, the 40s, but it wasn't the social norm. It wasn't the culture then. So if it was going on, it was very like hidden, like to the point where you might have had a baby, but your mother was taking care of it like it was your brother type situation. That's a lot of what's going on in the black culture. The mom was taking care of actually the grandbaby, calling the grandbaby your brother, so everybody didn't know. And you guys can speak on that if you know. But let's see. Okay, so my video, I said blind guy, his wife. The life says some people are okay with just going through the motions so they can stay vibrating at the low level. It takes a minute, if ever, for them to do something different. And you know what? I think it's that whole human aura of wanting to be with somebody, and even maybe that person that you were with telling you, oh, you're nothing, you'll never get anybody better than me, all that psyche sociological mind just dumping that makes you believe what you hear, because you think you won't get anything better and you've been that low so long, so you don't want to even step out. It's a lot going on with that, guys. I know this is more psychological than being put out there. A lot of people are just saying, well, why are they doing that? You got to break this down. There's a lot of reasons why, if you really look in the mirror at yourself, too. Look at our culture, look at what we've been through, and look at what we're accepting as okay and normal. All right. Let's see. JP says, nah, we gonna go halfsies on the shirt. Okay, JP says black people have taken on American culture as black culture assimilated. And that's true. But you know what, JP? I can flip and twist that, because I feel like, wait, American culture as black culture. People, okay, black people have taken on, I really think that's the opposite, JP. I really feel like white America has taken on black culture and assimilated it as their own. Okay, because if you look at what is the norm for fashion, what is the norm for clothes, what is even the norm for body image, guys? Like we talked about this in the last live. The norm for the mouth, fuller lips, Botox. Let's build it up, big as we can get it. The breasts, getting breast implants, making them as big as possible. Butt, hips, doing a Brazilian butt lift, making your butt go up, spreading the hips out. And it's such a psyche flip, because a lot of Black Americans do not even understand how much you are really hyper valued, but how much in the media that they look for the worst things in you and promote that, the worst things that they want to show about your culture. Because you guys know we're around Black people. We know what's really going on. Like, we know we don't live the way they projected. We know we're not like that. And the bulk of us have a lot of sense. And we just going to work, raising our family, having cookouts, having fun, loving everybody like we've always naturally done. That's just what we do. So the way it's projected, if you're not taught any different, and this is a psychological thing, like Pavlovian's dog, that whole study that they did. When you keep seeing something over and over, it's your norm. And I think our culture, our Black children, even the world and the nation, white people in America as a whole, have seen this whole portrayal of what Black people are, who they are, and push back against it as Black people, that it is a social norm now. And it's so sad, because our Black children coming up are believing this lie. They are believing this lie, and this is why I really push too for our children being encouraged to do different skills besides just playing a sport and going to the NFL and all the other leagues. Our children are so brilliant, guys. I'm telling you, because I see it, because I worked around children for years in the public school, private school sector. Like, I've seen it. Even in college, I've seen all this. And we're so brilliant, but that's not being pushed. Like, science, technology, engineering, all those different things That's the least concentrated area where there are a lot of black kids, even doctor, lawyer. That's the kind of common American one that's pushed. But we are brilliant in a lot of things. We're brilliant in science. We're brilliant in technology. We're brilliant in all those things. And if you go back in history, you see that a lot of inventions obviously started in Africa. A lot of and I'm going to do a series on that too, guys, because I don't think we really know a lot about the inventions here in America. And it's funny, I was talking to my students about this a couple years ago, and I said, guys, think about it, because we did a section dealing with slavery and how America has tried to, hidden in all these type of things, and there's a lot of slavery in different texts in English and literature. So I told them, I was like, guys, think about it, like these inventions, the white slave master would not make an invention to help the slave. For what reason? He's going to use them for what they're worth. So a lot of the inventions dealing with gardening and dealing with farming came from the black slaves because they wanted something easier, especially when it changed from them being slaves into sharecroppers. They wanted something where they didn't have to break their backs. So a lot of the things dealing with farming came from a lot of the black people. It's really common sense when you start thinking about it, guys. Like if you really think about it, you're like, dang, that does make a lot of sense. All right. And even back in the day, like a lot of black people were slaves. They didn't want them to read. And they were smart with that. They knew if they could read, the power wouldn't even be in their arms physically. It would be in their minds. So that was a law. They could not read. So think about that. When the slaves and the sharecroppers and people were creating things, they didn't know about patents. They didn't know about that you have to register this and trademark it. So there were a lot of things that were made and built that were from black people, but they didn't have the wherewithal and the prowess to go to get the trademark on it or get the copyright. So a wealthy white person with money would say, oh, you know what? Let me help you. I'm going to give you money to just get it started. And let me help you do it. And the whole time they were trademarking and copyrighting. So it's so many things, guys. If you just stop and think about it, to how us as a community, we've been just kind of culture vultured. And also we've been, for the lack of words, the ignorance of knowing some things, the sneakiness of it. We have been just put so behind in those things. Let me go to the chat. Okay, JP says, we aspire to their dream. She said, white picket fence, 2.5 kids, they don't aspire to any black values. They just see us as a trend. That's true. And it was funny, guys. I was on Clubhouse the other day and I was listening to a channel. What was that channel called? Oh my gosh, I forget. But it's the name of the title of the channel. If you've never been to Clubhouse, it's like it's an app and it's audio. And it's really neat. Like if you're exercising or moving around or doing something, you can pick what you want to listen to, the type of genre things or whatever. And you will see their face on the icon, but you will hear them talking. So there's moderators, and then there are people you can come up just like you do in live streams, and you can talk on like StreamYard. You can come in and talk. So, anyways, I was listening to one, and it caught my attention when I was going through it. I clicked on it, and it was a Hispanic person, and he says, "Yes, I use the N-word. What are you going to do about it?" So my shaggy senses just went up. I clicked on that one because you can sit and just listen to it too. You don't have to talk or say anything. You can just listen. And they, like I said, they pull you up if you want to talk or whatever. So basically this guy is talking and there's a whole bunch of black people in the room and they're talking and they're going ham, getting angry. And one black lady, I thought she said it eloquently. She was like, just because you have dark skin and there's dark skinned people in every nation does not rectify the fact that you know the black experience. Because a lot of people, like JP was saying, the trend of being black, the exoticness of it, all those things, the swag or the hipness of being black does not compensate the tragedies of being black, the atrocities of being black, the stigma of being black. She basically was saying, just because you've gotten stopped by police because your skin is dark does not mean that you understand the black experience and what as a culture we have to go to here in America. And it was really interesting, and it was great to me to see our black people being able to elaborate and explain, their heartfeltness to the black culture without it being ratchet and yelling and cussing them out. And then as we got into the Clubhouse conversation, the guy started saying, well, guys, my daddy is black and my mom was Puerto Rican, so that's why I say the N-word. It's part of me. I say the N-word because it's part of me. And then they're like, but you didn't start off saying that you were black and white. You said I'm a Hispanic person and I used the N-word. So why would you lead with that? It's like you're trying to start something. And that's kind of what the woman was saying. Like, that's who you feel you are. You feel like you're Hispanic first, even though your dad's black. So, and that's kind of what she was talking about. It's like you lead with the culture you feel that you follow. You don't really feel you black. You want the, I guess the prowess, or you want the how can I say it? You want to be able to do and say the things that the black culture does and not have an issue with anybody saying it. Another thing that they were saying, which I thought was really interesting, and I know this because I actually went to school in the South and I lived in the North and been around the East Coast, so I know the different areas, Midwest, West Coast, the South. When I went to college, obviously I seen people from everywhere besides just in the United States, across seas, Africa, China, all kinds of people. So even when I'm listening, I can kind of tell and hear dialect, and I can hear vernacular when people are talking and their accents. But anyways, going to that, she basically was saying that the fact that you led with that makes it such a difficult thing, because in the community we have so many issues with people that just want the good thing. They don't want to really go through the struggle of what the black culture has been through. Let's see. Blind guy, his wife, their life. Assimilation aside, we just need to do better for ourselves. That's true. The history you're giving on this point, but even the people that know it keep skipping. Yeah, that's true. I'm sorry, I read that wrong. The history you're giving is on point, but even the people that know it keeps skipping. Yeah, and that's the sad part, because sometimes, like, I'm very aware of people. I don't take it as I see it. I always know there's a back end to something, or there's another side to it. And I think Blind Guy, his wife, their life, it's so easy to not push back against it, to just like JP the Inspiring Matriarch said, to have the White House, the picket fence, the 2.5 kids, and just, as long as you're not getting bothered, as long as nobody's messing with your home, you're okay. And that's the sad thing, because as a culture, there is no way we're going to be able to change and do anything if we stay in our own little quote unquote picket fence and just live life and not really care what's going on with our neighbor, to say. And I think that's a big issue. It needs to be conversations had about it. There definitely needs to be conversations had, because if we keep doing this, it's going to be the demise of our culture, because I don't think people are realizing what's happening to these kids. I don't think people realize, like, the children are the future, and if you keep sidetracking the children, if you keep acting like they don't care, you don't care about the children and their outcomes, oh, what a world is going to be coming. Because this world right now is already, it's so hypersexual, it's so hyper capitalist, it's so idealistic, that it's like, when you talk about core values, people look at you like you're a mutant. When you're talking about stop going out doing stuff, keep your legs closed, have some moral values, don't mess your body up, don't put bad things in your body to hinder your body, people look at you like, you what? Why do you expect that? That's a dumb expectation. You shouldn't even have that expectation. And that's the sad part. That word right there. When we get to the point where we say, that doesn't even sound realistic. What do you mean? It was realistic going back 50 years plus. So the simple fact that we've made the ideology that it's not even realistic. Why would you say that? This generation of kids not gonna do that. This generation of people, they not about to stop doing that. And right there is the downfall of the culture, because we don't have a standard. We just say, well, this is what's going on now. This is the norm. This is not going to change. So there's no standard. So if there's no standard, how is there going to be any change at all? And Blind Guy, his wife, their life is correct. It starts with us first. We cannot go out and expect another people to treat us right. We cannot go out and expect somebody to feel bad for us. It starts in our homes, and it starts in our communities, in our neighborhoods. And even if you don't live in a community neighborhood with your people, you better get out and be helping them on your free time or in your job or some other type of way, because it's so necessary. And like I said, me working in the environment of being an instructor and a teacher and seeing this, seeing that our children are not being pushed to do much of anything except play a sport. Also, when you look at the statistics, guys, of gifted, I don't know if you guys know about the gifted programs in the public and private schools. Um, there are studies showing that when you look at the demographic, there are way less black kids in these programs, because to be in gifted, guys, if you don't know, the teacher has to recommend that that child be tested, and once that child is tested, they through these different psychological tests, they see if the child is gifted. So gifted is a little bit different. It's not just your child is smart. It is like the way they think and process is like on a way higher level. Hence, the different classes that they will give the kids. So with that being said, there is a bias on the black kids even getting tested for these programs, because a teacher has to believe and assume that that child has a gifted tendency or has a quality to show a gifted child. And you guys, we already know our children, when they're in the classroom, the bulk, a majority of them, um, they are very, especially the boys, they are very, they like to move around. They're very rambunctious. They like to use their hands. That's how we talk at home. Most of us, not all of us, but like I said, don't take me in. What are they called? Outliers. I'm just talking about basics, not outliers. So I know everything I say, there's an outlier for it. But I'm talking what I know, and I'm talking what I've experienced from my profession in education. All right. So for the most part, the outliers, like I said, they don't count. But for the most part, our children are not getting pushed to do these type of things. And a lot of times the parents don't really understand that you can require your child get tested, gifted tested, instead of them pushing your child to get tested for ESE and special needs and IEP 504 plans. And I'm not gonna get into that, but if y'all got some questions, I can break that down, because that is so important and prevalent. And I know most people's kids are in public school, so they don't really understand that a lot of the time somebody that's not professionally back is assessing that your child might need special needs services, ESE, and they don't need it. They just need a teacher that can control them and command them to sit down and listen, or a teacher that, inspires them, or maybe so, a teacher that looks like them. Because I know, I'm guys just giving story time. I remember I worked at a school, it was in like $1 million neighborhood. So you know the culture, predominantly white. But there were black kids at the school, a couple, and Hispanic kids, but mostly white kids. And I remember I was working in another capacity where I was kind of like supervising the kids that needed like extra support with math. And so I remember there was an issue. So they knew the kids, they really would, what's the word? The kids, I guess they like my energy. They really like me when they see me. I'm very colorful. So when they see me, I'm just colorful. Kids, hey, miss, they want to talk to me and everything. And I'm very smiley all the time and happy. All right. So little kids love that. So basically, there was a little black kid acting up in one of the classes. And the lady was like, I can't do anything with him. Is there anything you can do? Because he seen me walking past, because I pull kids out of the class and I put them in little study groups and we go over stuff and then I take them back to class. And I told the little boy, I said, come here. Stop doing whatever you're doing. Is this something that you don't understand in the classroom? Is there something the teacher's showing you don't understand? And the little boy was like, yeah, miss, I don't understand this. And then I explained it to him. And then the little boy sat down and he was quiet. So a lot of times the issue and the kickback is you don't even know how to deal with another demographic of children. And guys, this is something that I found out, even me being an instructor and teaching. I didn't realize the number may be higher, but you can Google it. But I'm just giving you, like I said, a kind of roundabout. I believe it's 70 to 80% of teachers in America are younger white women. So you guys got to think about that. So if they're younger white women, especially if they've never been in the black culture, seen the black subculture, know about it, where they're sensitive to deal with children in the black culture, it's going to be a mess for our kids. And I don't think black people really think about that. I don't think you guys think about what is really going on in our kids' head in public school. I don't think you guys even know. And I always aspire to tell parents is talk to your kids. I don't care if they hate you, you hate them, they don't like you, whatever. Have a dialogue to where they come home and ask them how their day was. Or B, and I know you guys do it as parents, but I have to keep pushing this. Make sure you watch them when they come home. Watch their facial expression and watch their demeanor and see if they're different, because 9 times out of 10, guys, there's something going on at school. And you guys have to be their first defense on that. I'm telling you. And I know most of you are, but I just want to reiterate that as an educator, because these kids are going through a lot and they don't know how to say anything because the parent, the adult that they trusted in the school was treating them so bad and dogging them and talking about them. And they do that, guys. Understand, they will do it slick and sneakily. Let me go back to the chat. Let's see. That's very true. You got to have standards if you want to change. Thank you, Mr. Bailey. Let's see. JP, the Inspiring Matriarch. Please do a separate stream on IEPs for parents who don't understand the process. Okay, I will do that. Even though I am a teacher, I'm not the ESC teacher, but I have done trainings and stuff on that. So I know the IEP. I understand the IEP. It is a legal document. So if you have, oh Jesus, I feel like, what's his name? I'm not him though, but I'm saying I remember him talking about this. What's his name? The black dude is trying to build a school. Oh, Johnson, Umar. I do know the IEP. It is a legal document. If you didn't know, if your child has an IEP, it has to be legally followed. So whatever is in that IEP, whatever it says that child gets, like some IEPs will say something as specific as that child needs to be sitting in the front row, in the middle, in front of a teacher. If a teacher doesn't follow that, that's legal. They can get in trouble for that. A lot of parents don't know that. They don't read the IEP. They don't know how serious it is. But yes, if your child does need an IEP and it's necessary, because some kids do need it. I'm not saying every kid they put in ESC doesn't need it, but I'm saying you need to make sure you read that IEP, because if your child's not getting those specific things, that's a legal issue, and the school and that teacher will get in trouble. So make sure you're reading that. Let's see. Blind guy, his wife, their life. I've experienced the same thing working with our kids in education for years. See, I got somebody that knows what I'm talking about. Like I said, I try my best I try to put it out there, especially me in that system and in that environment. When I have issues or when I'm talking to parents and they're calling me like my child doesn't want to do the work, what do you think I should do? And 9 times out of 10, I have a very good relationship with their children, and they know that because that's why they call me. My child talks about you all the time. I can't get them to do this. What do you suggest? And like I said, it's a community. So I don't mind piggyback off of the parents. And when the child comes back, we try to make a little goal or agenda or something where that child can see, like, I know what's going on, your parent does, but we both care. So now let's see a change. Instead of go to detention, get suspended, you're the worst kid in the world, I'm going to have a grudge on you, which a lot of teachers do. And this is why your child can't perform in class. Not because your child is dumb or your child is lazy. That's the worst thing. That kid's lazy. No, they're not lazy. It's a small, minute percentage of kids that really are lazy, guys. They're not lazy. They're either bored, or that teacher is disrespected them or treated them bad, or they just don't understand. And the biggest thing is a lot of kids don't understand. That's why they show out in class. They don't understand what you're talking about. And the classes are so huge in the school system that the kid cannot get attended to. So they show out, or they act out, or they get in trouble, or they just don't want to be part of it. Let's see. Blind. Okay. She says, our children learn more quickly and are more animated. They learn even faster with engagement. And that's what they're trying to bring back into the school system. Instead of just the child sitting there listening to somebody talking, actually that being like a work group environment where the children are facilitating off of each other instead of them just sitting there isolated doing work on their own. And blind guy, his wife, their life. Guys, we know as regular adult humans, a lot of us will function better when we do stuff in a group or together as a community, period. So you would think, why do they sit the kids, separate them in different seats? Why are they not together to do stuff? Why is it such an individual, I got to get an ABCD thing? To be honest, my view on schools, I think it should be community the whole way up. I don't think it should be like an individual grade each kid gets, because when you get into real life, a lot of things you do has to be community. You have to learn to work a job with people. You have to learn how to deal with customers or deal with different people that have different ideals of views. You have to work in a community. You're never really by yourself. And if you do, it's like a type of job maybe where you're doing, I don't know, accounting, or maybe you're doing something dealing with technology. But we still, as all human beings, we need to know how to function in an environment. We need to know how to be around people, talk to people, and get things done in the community. Period. That's how I think every school should be, to be honest. I don't think it should be just kind of a grade thing. Okay. Aunt Bailey says, they will put you in a special ed class when you are in your right mind. No, that's facts. That's facts, Aunt Bailey. They will put you in a special ed class. And guess what, guys? They can't put them in the class unless the parent concurs to it. So this is the thing that makes me so agitated. Oh, I don't want to get on this. I'm trying to get back to topic, but I get so agitated because a lot of the parents hear and see that and they know that's a dollar sign. A lot of parents know that they will give. If you didn't know, if your child is like special needs, they can get, I believe it's Social Security, or they can get some money. They can get a check every month. So a lot of parents are like, oh, okay, well, my child is, instead of just they need the accommodations because the child needs it, they're like, oh, this is the ticket. This is the money ticket. And if you didn't know, also too, guys, schools get a big chunk of money. Like they get so much money for kids in special ed, big chunks of money compared to just, I think average school, will just guess, an average school gets probably like maybe $500 to $1,000 a child. But a special ed kid, those they get probably like $5,000 or more. Don't quote me. Every school is different, but they get like triple, quadruple, 10 times more money for special ed kids. Hence the reason why they're in special ed. Okay. JP, the Spire Matriarch, she says, I use the IEPs to their benefit. Yeah, and that's what they're for. They're really, I'm not against IEPs. There are some kids need the IEPs so they can get a level playing field with other kids. So they're definitely necessary when the child needs it. But most parents don't truly understand the system. That's true, JP. That's true. They presume the school is authority rather than behave as their child's advocate. That's true. And that's why I said, if your child has one, you need to read it. You need to read the IEP because it's very specific. Like I told you guys, it's a legal document, like a mayor's license or a the license for anything, or like you have when you get your, what's it called, registration or whatever for your car or whatever. It's very detailed and it says specifics to, like I see one IEP. It says something about the child needs what was it? It was something very different. The child needs to. It was something about the way they hold something in the class. Very specific, very specific. And it tells you how to deal with a child, especially if a child acts out or something like that too. Let's see, JP the Aspiring Matriarch. What is lazy and how is it, what is lazy and how is it okay for any educator to use the term when we know it is detrimental to young minds? What is lazy? I preferred a Montessori style education, set up stations, let them show their interest. And you know what's, and it's funny, I was talking to my husband about this. What's so funny, JP, the Aspiring Matriarch, is starting from kindergarten to first grade to second grade, at least in the public school setting, they're treated as like little kids, which is what they are. You know, they get to I think they still get their little naps. They get to go play like 2 or 3 recesses. It's kind of fun and it's really laid back. But when you get to third grade in public school, it's like they're little robot adults. They got to sit down, they got to be quiet. They don't talk that much anymore. They have standardized testing in third grade. And it's so weird, the juxtaposition to what the natural order of how you learn. Why do you change it so strictly from second to third grade? And if you've had kids, think about it going back from when they were in second grade to third grade, how much that changed. It's crazy. And I am in agreement with you. The way Montessori school is, and if you don't know, I know a little bit about it. I'm not an expert, but Montessori is more of a whole wellness to a child. And JP, you can key in on something if there's something that you want to add to that about Montessori so people know. But Montessori is basically like the whole child. It's like you are teaching the wellness of the whole child. You're engaging that whole child instead of a child following what a standard is. You are finding what that child is good at, what they love, and you are cultivating that. So that's kind of what the Montessori life, the style of education is. And I think with Black children, I think Montessori style would be better because there's so many different things we're good at. And guys, if you think about that, none of us are like good at everything or a lot of things. So it's really weird when you think about public school, how They are taught from when they're kindergarten going up like a plethora of subjects. And they're made to be taught these subjects all the way to 12th grade. But think about it. If you just taught that child one thing that they were good at and they spent 12 years working on that, think about how many experts we will have. Think about how many people probably would just be happier. Think about that if that's really what schooling was. I took what you were good at and I stayed cultivating and nurturing that year after year after year after year after year. Now, there are some people that are oddities, I guess you could say, like me. School is easy for me. Like, I love learning. I'm a nerd. Like, even now, I'll pick up books on different things. I'll read. I'll go to websites. I'll go to people's chat rooms. I'll go to people's um, Discords or Clubhouse. And I just like listening to different concepts and different ideals to why people think the way they do. I'm really like a true thinker. And I love the concept of hearing what you have to say to understand it and then give my objective mindset on why I feel the way I do, and then we have a good wagerly conversation about it. I love that. I love conversation because I feel like that's the only way you learn. You don't learn staying in your own ideals and own mindset and not being open to hear what somebody else has to say. Even if you don't agree with them, at least you know why they feel the way they do, and you can agree to disagree, and you can move on with life and still have a good ideal and concept of why that person feels what they feel and respect that. And I think that is the issue. People are so stuck on what they want to believe that you don't want to understand why somebody believes what they do. I didn't say you got to agree with them. I'm not in agreement with everybody, but I do want to understand. I do want to know why you think what you think. And I want to be able to, process that, right? But, we can agree to disagree. Um, are you allowing them to show their? Yes. Yep. Okay. So I think I kind of said that. JP, the aspiring matriarch, was saying that Montessori style education is you are allowing them to show their interest. And guys, think about, I mean, logically, that's the only thing that makes sense. How do I teach you and cultivate you when you're not interested in what I'm teaching? It's common sense. I'm not interested in. Doesn't make any sense. Yes, JP. They need to be involved to touch and feel things, the game, music. I can aspire to say all children are like that, to be honest, but our children, yes, because that just goes back into our culture and who we are. We're very, and I call that tactile. It's like you have to touch things, you have to be able to feel it. And I think most people learn that way. There are other styles, and I talked about that in my other live, guys. There's audio, visual, and tactile, aka kinetic learning. But yeah, I mean, I think most people need to be able to feel and move and touch things. Let's see. Blind guy, his wife, their life. That's basically what we do when we get out of the school building. Yes, exactly. It makes so much sense. We cultivate the few things we love over and over and over. But guys, just think about what the world would be like if the school system was basically, what is your child good at? Let's figure, actually, if elementary was, let's figure out what they're good at. We're going to expose them to different things because, they're children. They don't know. We'll expose them to different things. But by sixth grade, we're getting into master zone. Now we're getting into master professional. Now let's incubate these things that we know they're good at. And now let's facilitate this. Let's get mentors. Let's make sure there's hands-on classes. Let's find online learning where they can watch videos. Let's go take them and introduce them to entrepreneurs or different people. Like I said, they can mentor them where they can be tactile and kinetic with their hands and do the thing. So if they did that in middle school, they were actually doing the thing. And then in high school, it is now they're professionals. We are setting up the business for them. They are actually going out trying to get the talent they need. Maybe they can't do everything in their business, so they're aspiring to get the people that they need to do the back end, and they are actually starting the business, raising money. Man, that's an awesome plan I just had right there. If that's really what school was, man, like people would be so much happier too. And so JP says truth to blind guy, his wife, their life. Blind guy, his wife says instead of agreeing to disagree, you can also just exit stage. Blind guy, his wife says instead of agreeing to disagree, you can also just exit stage left to the left. You're happy. Y'all are living your lives in your circle of interest. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Because what I'm not gonna do is I'm not gonna sit and argue with somebody. That's what I'm not gonna do. Like the old me guys, because actually, if you didn't know, I actually went to school after I finished my bachelor's degree. I was gonna go to law school. That's what all my teachers wanted me to do with my criminal justice degree because I was so good at like talking and analyzing and debating. As you can see now, I had a full ride to law school, but I knew like starting a family and doing all that. Like I was like I knew I would have to commit so much time to going to law school. I wasn't ready to do that, and I was in the middle of already getting my master's degree. I was like, that's too much. I love school, but I need a break. I already got 3 degrees now. I'm tired. Okay. But yeah. Exactly, guys. So let's bring this back to our culture because this is such a good conversation. We went into our culture. We discussed the school system in our culture. We discussed different ways where we could see our children aspiring. If there was a mind shift or some type of shift in what we've seen as far as the Western culture and how we handle our children. Let's get back to the Mr. Canon situation because my whole thing, guys, is I'm really perplexed as to how he actually got that show back, to be honest, because he was getting hated for a good time for what he said. And if I don't even know if that interview's up, guys. He had an interview with what is that guy's name? Doggone it, Professor Griff. Professor Griff. And if you don't know Professor Griff, Google him. He talks about all kind of stuff. But he's really for the Black community. So I do respect that. He's really about Blackness, Black community, and us like just kind of rising up and being more aware of what's going on around us. And let's see. Blind guy, his wife there. Let me see. Yep, choose family. Don't be Nick. Don't be Nick. You must commit. Yeah, it was a train wreck. It was a train wreck. If you seen that, guys, it was so agitating to me because what he was saying, what he was originally saying, he was like sticking to it to his dupes. Like he learned it. He goes to HBCU now. If you don't know, he went to, I think, Howard University. He got his bachelor's. He's working on his master's. So he's around all Black people all the time, and he's learning all this knowledge. And he got his little podcast show, and he's talking about all of it. I'm talking about spitting stuff. Professor Griff couldn't even finish the sentence because Nick Canon was jumping in, double dutching, finishing for Professor Griff, double dutching. Okay, and then like in less than like a week or two, because he recorded it, guys, like earlier last year, I believe. And then the next minute he gets on there and he just apologizes to what he said, and it's so crazy because it's like, dude, you have your own TV show that you've had. I believe that show's over 10 years old or longer. You've been on TV shows. You've gave your interest and you gave your ideals to make different shows. You have your own podcast now. You went back and got your education. You should feel confident to back what you say. But a lot of people, because you guys know how I do it, I like to say both sides of the story when I get into stuff. A lot of people were saying, yes, he was sticking up for the Black culture. He was saying all these things. He meant what he said. But flip side, he has a family. He got to protect his family. You don't know what the outside sources would do to his family if he stayed with what he was saying on that podcast, if he was in agreement to everything he was saying and stuck to it. So a lot of people were saying that he was worried about his family. So he went and said and made all the apologies and all of these things so he could protect his family. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? What do you guys think? Let's see. Blind guy says, and his wife say, instead of agreeing to disagree. Oh, we already read that one. JP says, why do I see Johnny Cochran and OJ? Exactly. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, guys, it's such a crazy. She said Johnny Cochran and OJ. It's such a crazy thing, too, guys, and like I said, it's really interesting to me because a lot of things, especially dealing with us and our Black culture and why we do what we do, a lot of things are just kind of ingrained in us. It's like, I think the biggest thing with Nick is he's always been, quote unquote, and then going back to this article, what this Jason Whitlock says, he's always been the status quo, the elite in other people's terms. So he's been with them. So the simple fact that you are with them and then you get this arising to these new understandings and ideas, and now you're talking about them. It's crazy. It doesn't make sense. That's why he called him an elitist. He's like, it doesn't make sense that you're saying it now, because how do you think you made your money? How do you think you got your businesses? Because they propped you up to be seen everywhere. And you were, and to be honest, guys, you know that Nick Canon is a safe celebrity, which means he never was really one way, which he was always kind of in the middle. I can't even recall Nick talking about politics before he did his podcast when he went to a Black HBCU. If you don't know what that stands for, historically Black college. I don't even think he was talking that talk until I guess he got awakened when he went to the Black college. All right. Let's see. Blind Guy, his wife says, one perspective that I heard from the manosphere on Nick was that Nick jumped up to get beat down, gained knowledge, created wealth, business, married with kids. Then they took it back. Okay. So yeah, it's funny when you get a couple of duckies in your pocket, how you get real bold. You understand what I'm saying? My whole thing is, if Nick felt that, if he truly felt it in his heart, he wouldn't have double dutched. So it makes me question, like, you know how it is, guys. People ride the Black culture wave. People ride the stand up, Black Lives Matter, more power to the people thing, just because it's the it thing. Not really because they really represent it in their heart and mind and really want to, help the culture and change it. They're just doing it because it's the it thing. And so with me, I felt like, I get it. He has a family. I get that, he learned some stuff and he wanted to say it, but come on, dude. Your podcast is on like millions of places, millions of people see it. You didn't think anybody was gonna hear what you had to say, and you weren't ready to double back down on what you said. I don't know. I just, like I said, you said you mean it. Did my little inspirational video on that guy. Say what you mean what you say. It's different if you got an awakening, which means like I said something, then I realized when I went back and looked at it, it was either wrong or it was offensive or whatever. Then that's different. I think it's adult to apologize if you did or said something wrong. But he was really for what he said. So the simple fact that he changed it and double dutched, it's crazy. It is totally crazy because he said a lot of stuff. And he literally, I don't even think he agreed to anything he said. I don't think he agreed to anything he said. Somebody clarify it. Let me know if I'm wrong. Did he agree to anything he said? Anything he said in that video with Professor Griff? Because last I heard, everything he said, he denounced everything he said. It wasn't true. He's sorry for what he said. Let me know, guys. Because I don't believe he did. But let's see. Blind Guy, his wife says, once they took it back, then Nick resorted to the one thing he can do. Let me read this out loud. You guys are hilarious. It's so funny because I thought I said this earlier, but you just said it very eloquently. Blind Guy, his wife, that life says, once they took it back, then Nick resorted to the one thing he can do, which is reproduce. Yeah, it's like, to be honest, it's so funny you said that, but that's so true. Like, think about it. Like, guys, once he backtracked, it seems like 2 more kids popped out after that, huh? It's funny. Yeah, that's true. Once he backtracked, I think he got that other lady pregnant and she had twins. And then what else? He got that lady pregnant with twins. And I think he's got another one that's coming. He got another one that's coming. So yeah, you guys are right. I'm just saying what the manosphere said. Oh, okay. That's what the manosphere said. Okay. All right. But seems to have a little truth to it because it seems like right when he was double dutching and backflipping, seems like he got back into his grind and started producing more kids. So I don't know. And you know what, guys? And that's another thing we can talk about. Maybe that's something where when he feels like it's a need for him to feel whole. Because basically his whole ideal on that, guys, was like, we're here to procreate in this world. So like, I'm just doing exactly what I'm meant to do, which is create children. That's kind of what his spiel was. So he's doing what he said he's meant to do, which is create children, guys. How is he wrong for that, guys? doing his manly duty, putting it down, laying it down, and producing. What do you guys think of that? Um, all right, so this guy, this Jason Whitfield, whatever, he says many people on the conservative side are justifiably appalled that Black people cannot recognize we are being brainwashed into believing Western civilization and religious values have oppressed us rather than liberated us. The guy Jason Whitfield, and this is a Black guy. If you didn't know, or you just joined in the live, it says we're being baited into a conflict that will have the appearance of a racial conflict when the true conflict is over values. Let's talk about that. Let me read that one more time, guys, and let's have a discussion. We kind of did touch with this a little bit. JP, Inspiring Matriarch, said a little bit about it, but I want to hit this wholly in totality. All right. Many people on the conservative side are justifiably appalled that Black people cannot recognize we are being brainwashed into believing Western civilization and religious values have oppressed us rather than liberated us. We're being baited into a conflict that will have the appearance of a racial conflict when the true conflict is over values. What do you guys think about that? And these are kind of the social norms he was saying. He says, do you believe in marriage between man and woman? Do you believe there are more than two genders? Do you believe in eugenics and Planned Parenthood? Black baby Holocaust? Do you believe in freedom or do you prefer government control? Do you believe in the right to bear arms? He says, we're not in the midst of a race war. We're in a culture and values war. It's really a holy war. So that's what Jason Whitfield was saying. In his op-ed against Nick Canon. Okay. Ant says Nick needs that job. He got to pay that high child support. Yeah, true. Because we know only one of the women, which is Mariah, is good. She has money. Mariah has money. The other women, like I said, I don't know that they're like actual artists or people. They might have a regular 9 to 5, but I doubt it. So yeah, he's got to pay for a lot of babies. Seven babies. I don't think Mariah Carey's really asking him for much, but so minus two, 5 babies. 5 babies. But it's so sad because think about, guys, if he was like in one area with one person, all those babies, or when he comes home, he can give the energy in one household to all those children. But now you got to spread it between 4 different women, making the kids feel okay that they're getting the amount of time that they need, making sure they're sound in school. Like, I mean, whose parent teacher conference does he go to, guys? Like, when does he have time to go to parent teacher conferences? How does he help out besides the money part? Like, what is he doing to help these women? And that was a conversation that we had on different lives that I've heard where they're talking about women rating women and then women, just specifically wanting to be with certain men just because they want to make a baby with them, which is crazy. Like, I mean, like I said, guys, I think, like I said, we're getting into, like I said, a ideal or spiritual thing. This is very spiritual because once you're with a person, or actually if you're by yourself for so long, you're going to want to be with a person. It doesn't matter how much you've been hurt. It doesn't matter how much you've gone through things. At a certain point, you're going to want to not be by yourself. And I think the fact that these people, they're doing so much of this hypersexual, I'm going to be with this person and not care about anybody, or I'm going to make these babies. You're being very selfish because you're not thinking about the product of the child, what the child has to go through. You're not thinking about your psyche because you can be mad at the person you made the baby with. So now there's contention. So when the child sees you and that parent, you guys have so much discord and there's so much anger, the child can't thrive. So there's just so many different levels and layers to this. But you guys can kind of chime in on that. Blind Guy, his wife, the life says, I approve Jason Whitfield's message. I call it. I love you guys' comments. It's so funny. They say, so Blind Guy, his wife, their life says, and I quote, I approve Jason Whitfield's message. I call it simping for Jesus, but people get offended. I'm just saying we stay dedicated to principles that serve higher powers, God and government, but they're away, but they're away our kids. Okay. So, I think I think Jason Whitfield's point of view is more towards, I wouldn't even say religious. I think people that have the understanding of a spiritual minded background and understanding that these different principles and values are not Eurocentric. They are principles that really can help you if you follow them. Because we know the baby making baby mama daddy thing is not working. There's too many kids that are getting the brunt of this and getting the back end of this with the socio economic issues. Some of the fathers don't want to pay for the child support, or they don't want to take care of the kid. And even if they are paying child support, there's a emotional issue. The child doesn't see the parent. The child thinks they did something wrong because the parent's not around. The child is acting out because of the issues between the parents, the mother and father. And we know, guys, like I said, we're not dealing with outliers. We know that there are some families where the mother and father are there married together, and it's just as much as a hot mess as a baby mama, baby daddy issue. Okay, we know that. But when you look at statistics as a whole, the people that are in marriages live longer. People that are in marriages, the children end up aspiring to better things. And the people that are in marriages, even if they at least lasted the marriage out until the children got older, those children had a better self understanding and worth of themselves compared to kids coming from a single family. Now, we're not saying, once again, those kids that come from a single family don't amount to anything, because if you look at society, most of the people that are making a lot of money in society, I guess we could just say like actors, athletes, most of them come from single parent households. All right. But that doesn't mean like you have to come from that to aspire to anything. All right. So let's see. So basically, if you're in agreement with Jason Whitfield, put one. If you disagree with him, put two. It says, I'm outraged by Canon's comments because I realize the left has convinced Black people to adopt Canon's point of view. The left is imposing values on all of its constituents that are anti-Western civilization. What do you guys think about that? Okay, fantastic conversation. I'll have to make lunch. So proud of you. Catch you next time. Thank you, JP. I appreciate you coming in and being part of the chat. Thank you so much. Yeah, guys. So basically, he's saying that he feels like most Black people agree with Nick Canon. What do you guys think? He says most Black people agree. He's convinced that they adopt Canon's point of view. What do you guys think? Do Black people agree to this? Making the different babies, and as long as you're paying child support or you're monetarily supporting them, you're a stand-up guy. Like I said, guys, I can talk on what I know, and as far as like me dealing with different children in the education realm, a lot of children come from single parent households. Some of them have still maybe bad parent households with two parents, but for the most part, what I've seen, there's a lot of single parent households. And you know what, guys, more than not, I see a lot of households where the dad is the single parent provider. Okay, so there are households where the father is a provider too. So don't get that twisted. Women do leave men too, guys. So know that they do leave men. Also, let me see. There was something else, guys, I wanted to show you about. So here is Jason Whitlock. If you didn't know who he was, I think a lot of people knew him from ESPN. ESPN and FoxNews.com. Here he is. Oopsie. All right, so that's Jason Whitlock. That is him if you didn't know who he was. And once again, it says Jason Lee Whitlock is an American sports journalist and a culture critic. Whitlock is a columnist, podcaster, and digital TV host for Blaze Media, where he hosts the show Fearless with Jason Whitlock. And he is a former columnist for the Kansas City Star AOL Sports, and Fox.com ESPN. All right. So let's get back into Black culture and our norms and what we feel will work and what won't work. I think the biggest thing that our culture suffers with, like I said, is like I told you, have it your way, Burger King ideal, where we are. I'm not going to say we. I think for the most part, I think this is really systematic, but the our culture of children are not getting taught that it is okay to take your time, process something, and wait the wanting it instantly. I think a big problem also too is watching these different videos and the music where children are thinking that this is normal. This is normal to get the money, blow the money, throwing up bottles. Probably saying it wrong, guys. I haven't really been in that probably since I was in college. Like throwing up bottles and popping bottles made that is spewed on our kids. And if they don't have a good patriarchal system at home and matriarchal father and mother, if they don't have that good basis to say, like, listen, you've seen that and you heard it, that's not reality. That's not how it works. This is what you need to know. I think it just really starts at home, going back to what Blind Guy, his wife, their life said. It starts really at home. And I don't think parents really understand the impact you make on your kids. I know it because they tell me. Like I told you, I've been around the education system for a long time, working with teenagers, adults, and kids. And I know how important it is to talk to your child. And I will keep prefacing that all the time. Make sure you guys are talking to them when they get home from school. Make sure you are asking them how they feel. So what, every day if they come in and say, oh, it's nothing. I don't have nothing to say. It's nothing. Keep asking them every day. Number one, I'm saying ask them every day so they know it's a norm. So they know it's not. You just ask them now. It's time to get on their nerves or they're having a bad day so they don't want to talk. And you'll never ask them again because they know that's how you are. You need to start that right now if you haven't started that with your child. Ask them every day how they feel. I don't care what you're going through. You need to ask them. Because I'm telling you guys, especially if you got teenagers now, and even it's starting now in elementary, these kids are so psychologically punched in the face with social media. They're going through so much in the classroom. They're going through so much indoctrination is being taught to them. And if you're not at home leveling that out, pacifying that stuff out to your child is a 12-year incubator. And so you can't get mad at what gets produced by the time they get in high school if you're not stepping in, eliminating all that dogma that your kids are getting. I'm telling you, it makes a world of a difference just asking them every day how they feel. They will tell you eventually. They will. Even if they don't talk to you, just keep asking them. Keep asking them. They will tell you eventually. Let's see. Blind Guy, his wife, their life. I'm not familiar with Jason Whitlock, though. Okay. I know, like I said, I just kind of found out about him. It was something that was like viral. I found out about him with something viral. Wait. It was something viral. I think it probably was like with Charlemagne or something. I think it was with Charlemagne. I'm not sure. But I seen him, but I didn't know what his name was. I've seen him before talking on clips, but I didn't know what his name was. But I think he was on ESPN for a long time. ESPN and Fox News. Let's see. Stay on them to get the info. Yeah. And I think a lot of parents, which is sad, like they don't realize like you're the parent. You're not their friend. You're not their buddy. Okay, it's nice if your child does feel that confident with you that they call you a friend, but that's not your role as a parent. You're supposed to be their provider and protector. And the friend comes in very last if that's what happens. But yeah, I think the biggest issue is parents are not talking to kids. They are not talking to kids. And that's from my experience, just the students talking to me. They're not talking to kids, and they are, just because the kid has like a stank piss attitude, or that's when they get older, become teenagers, or they're fussy, or they're in their emotions, you think that, oh, okay, well, I'm just going to leave them alone because I don't want to deal with them. Don't do that. Keep talking to them. Keep asking them questions, because you are their only outlet. You, and if you live with your spouse, you guys are their only outlet. And you need to keep asking them, because that is your seed right there. That is your legacy. You need to know what is going on with them and in their minds so they can get the help they need if they're going through something. Okay. So that I will always push that. You need to be talking to your kids, always talking to them. See what's going on. Know the teachers in the classroom. Pop up. If they allow you, pop up. Even if they don't allow you, just say, I want to come see the classroom. All right. Make sure you guys are part of their lives. make sure it is so important, guys. What? Just breaking. Guys, I just read this. This is crazy. It reminds me of how I was. I don't know if you guys seen that, but let's see. Stay on them. They taken the little black history we have in school out, trying to erase our black history. And you know what's funny, going to the black history thing, I remember there was like a lesson that I actually did on that. And really, people don't realize, like, it's not even a separate history. The black people in America, or the descendants of slaves here in America, it's really the American history. So we really don't even have a separate black history in America, because our history started here when they breeded us and created what we are now here today, of black culture people. So it's really kind of like a pacifier thing. And it's funny too, guys. The kids, even in school, learn about Christopher Columbus and other people. You would think you would learn about history in America instead of other histories of other people. But it's, I mean, you really, it's kind of like a walk you have to take on your own if you want to learn, because it's not going to get taught to you. Because a key quote is, it said, your oppressor is not going to teach you anything that's going to go against them. All right. So what I had learned during my research, going back 5, 10 years, because I just felt like something was missing. So I just started getting books, reading. That's just, this always student in me and the teacher. I just wanted to learn and know stuff and have definitive evidence. So if I had a conversation, I could back it up. Because like I tell my students, if you can't go into the text and you can't prove it, it's not definitive. If you have some type of proof or some facts, some concrete details, you can prove whatever you say. And a lot of things I didn't even like rationalize was like the different revolts. There were many revolts, but they never talk about it, how the slaves revolted. You would think they just were pacified and stayed there. But there were many revolts. They just don't talk about that. They don't want the people to know that the slaves actually were fighting. Many of them were passive, but there were many of them that were planning, organizing, and fighting, and had many revolts that were successful, but they just don't want to talk about it. Another thing too, like I was telling you guys earlier, dealing with education, is thinking about logically how the different gardening tools came about, how the different things came about, and why there weren't really any black inventors of anything. But if you think about it, it would be them that invented stuff, because why would a slave owner want to make it easier for a slave? It would be their ideals and their experience to create a product. Also, going back, like I told you guys, in history, dealing with patents and copywriting. A lot of things were invented by black people, but there was probably maybe a good 70% of them weren't documented because they didn't know how to legally say that they own something. So when you process all that stuff, it kind of really makes sense when you get into today and now. Like, oh, this is why we don't see a lot. This is why it's not explained or documented. This is why we don't talk about it, because there's a lot of things hidden to cover up. And guys, you know what a treasure is? If you go to your local city, what's that called? I don't know if it's called the city registrar, or the place where they keep documents for the city. If you go there and start looking up things, you'll probably find a lot of things about the neighborhood and area you live in. You'll find so much stuff about it. And who really does that? The average person never does that. They don't want to go look at nothing. They don't want to read anything. So they're not going to find anything, because they don't want to look that stuff up anyway. So let's see what's going on in the world today, guys, too. We touched that. Guys, make sure you guys go back and look at the videos that I did. Oh, I didn't even say that. Make sure you guys subscribe. I got the likes. Make sure you guys share too. Share this information with people. I will try to go into some of my lives and split them up to some of the important conversations we had, so you guys can hit the top key things. How's it going in your areas, guys, as far as COVID? How's COVID going? Are they shutting things down? Are they back to mask mandates in your towns? Or is it pretty much you don't need a mask anywhere yet? I know a lot of bigger cities are getting into, what's that called? What's that called? High whatever zone where the cases are rising. I know a lot of cities are doing that. Let's see. I also did a video about those people that, if you want to know information about that tax care credit, I did a video over that because somebody had requested that I do a video over that one. And once again, guys, I do motivational videos. I try to do that just to encourage everybody because I know everybody needs it. Everybody needs some type of encouragement. So I try to do my best to do those daily, get those up so you guys can get a little bit of encouragement every day. So make sure you check those out. Let's see. Blind guy, his wife, their life. Folks are fine here, and we are still wearing masks or not. And we are still wearing masks or not. We are still thick as things in restaurants where the plates of food magically. And you know what? That's funny you say that, blind guy, his wife, their life. It's funny because you're right. Like when you go in, the people when they're eating food, they'll take the mask off and sit and eat. And how is that any different than just being in there with the mask on? Like I said, guys, share that video too. I got a good amount of views on it now already, so I'm wondering if it's being shared. I did a video over food shortage, and I'm telling you, I know if you guys go back to that video in a month, you're gonna wish you listened to me. I did a thorough research of different things that are coming into short demand and supply right now. I went over things that are kind of natural things that we need as far as in the household. I went over things if you travel or some of the things that are coming to be scarce now, and really will be probably in the next month or so. So make sure you guys look at that video, watch that video if you need to a couple times. Make sure you share that video. I think that's really going to be important. I think people are really not taking that serious again. And if you guys think about it, this is almost the exact same time as it was last year. All this same stuff is still happening. So I think it's important, if you didn't pay attention last year, that you don't fall behind. You do and get what you need to do this year. Make sure you guys look at that video over the shortages, food shortages and things, kind of common things that we use that will be in shortage coming forward. I know a big thing for you meat eaters is going to be meat. I know Tyson was saying also, besides things being in shortage, they're going to increase the prices. So guys, if you think about that logically, when there's a shortage in something, that means the price is going to explode. All right. So those of you meat eaters, you guys better go out and get your meat, get you a deep freezer and store that crap. Tyson said they're going to go up almost 400%. That's what they're speculating, that the prices of their items are going to be going up almost 400%. So once again, make sure you guys check that video out I put up. I believe it's called Food Storage and Supply. Make sure you guys go look at that if you want to know some insider things on that. Also, I don't know if you guys been paying attention to this, but I thought this was really interesting too. And I thought he was going to get it. What do you guys think about LeVar Burton? If you don't know, that's Reading Rainbow for my throwback nostalgias. And he was in Roots, and I believe he was on Star Trek. But they were doing a petition for him to become the next host of Jeopardy because Alex Trebek died. And he didn't get it. What do you guys feel about that? Do you feel some type of way that he didn't get that job? So once again, like I said, it's LeVar Burton. This is his picture. You guys should know who LeVar Burton is. That's an icon. So anyways, guys, he was in a running to get the job for Jeopardy. He would have been the first black host. I mean, obviously, the same guy has been hosting Jeopardy since the beginning. So, duh, he's been the first black host. But they were doing a petition, guys, for him to get that job. and he didn't get it. So what do you guys think about that? Do you think he should have got it? And actually, two guys, it says that they were, he was a front runner to get it, and people got so agitated that they did a change.org petition. And at the moment, it was more than 267,000 people signed that for him to get that, to get the Jeopardy position. And let's see, I think he posted, even when he didn't get it, that's why people like really want him to get it. He was so nice and sweet when he didn't get it. He was like, just to have the opportunity to be one of the people of the finalists for the show, I feel over the moon already. Mm, I guess I think he should have got it. My Vivid Life, I like him. Who else is up for it? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, he would have been awesome. His To me, when I think about him and kind of Alex Trebek, he has his own, and I think he would have brought kind of like a soft side to it because like Alex Trebek was so like robotic, um, and I think LeVar Burton would have brought like a natural humanness to Jeopardy, where I think more people would have watched it. I really do believe like way more people would watch it. But yeah, he didn't get it, guys. He did not get it. And he was just so nice on his, I think he posted to Twitter like his little response to it, and he was thanking everybody for wanting him to get it and everybody agreeing that he should get it. And but he bowed, he humbly bowed down, very humbly. But I think he should have got it. That would have been like really interesting and excited to see him hosting Jeopardy. That would have been really good. I think that would have been a good thing for the culture because I think a lot of black people and kids would watch it more. Because Jeopardy, guys, to say the least, is kind of like a whole synopsis of culture and education and society, and this it's such a big demographic of things that I think our kids would have been more pushed to want to learn and want to know different ideals and topics and things of that nature. So I think that would have been good for the culture. I really do think that would have been good. My Vivid Life says he's a wholesome man too. Yeah, no, he would be the epitome of doing something like that. I think it just would have been overall. It would have been a great balance. You're right, My Vivid Life. I'm in total agreement to what you're saying. Um, Aunt Bailey says so. We're getting back to the lack of tissue again. Oh yeah, I'm telling you, you guys are gonna wish that you posted and shared my video and sent it because it's. I mean, if you've been paying attention, guys, if you've been paying attention, you know it. If you go in some of your stores, well, we already know they had a lack of people because every store you go by, every restaurant they hiring. There is no people in the stores. Man, I should have brought up that other video, guys. I forgot what I did with it. I don't know what store it was, but it was a video on TikTok, and this guy was in there answering the phone, and he's recording the video saying, "All the workers just walked out, and I'm here answering the phone because nobody's here." I mean, and that is really prominent, guys. If you go to Google and type that in, I've been seeing that happen so many times. That's just, it's madness to me. It's madness that people have the gall to just walk out. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm pretty sure they've been disrespected, beat, broken, abused. I'm pretty sure they were treated horrible at the job. But doggone, you can't wait till the owner come or somebody supervisor come and get the key. You just walk out of the job. I've never seen this madness before, guys. It's crazy how people are just so bold to just step out and just, I don't know. But anyways, guys, like that is crazy. Yes, make sure you guys, once again, I'm gonna keep pushing. Look at that video and share it. There are so many things, even getting down to basic things like tennis shoes, Nike tennis shoes. They were saying in Vietnam, the COVID epidemic has hit that country so bad, and Vietnam is the number one distributor of Nike, producer of the Nike shoe. And there are other affiliates besides Nike that make shoes in Vietnam. There's a lot of people because it's a cheap place to make shoes. So you're going to notice the shortage, and to correlate with that from an economic folks, you're going to notice higher prices. So you better go try to get the stuff right now, guys, and start waiting around till it's scarce in your stores and in your neighborhoods. Let's see. So yes, there will be a tissue issue. Let's see who's in the house. Oh, hey, lead attorney. Lead attorney's in the house. He says, hey, Miss B Finesse. Lead attorney says, salute to blind guy, his wife, their life, Vivid and Ant. Yes, salute to blind guy, his wife. They're my first donators on my buy me a coffee link. So thank you guys for that. You're really encouraging me to stay going and motivated. So I appreciate every one of you guys in the family, the Finesse family. Shout outs to the lead attorney. Like I said, he's the one that's got me on the grind, and the family that came from him. You guys just encourage and inspire me. So I really thank you guys a lot. Blind guy, his wife says, I see the hand sanitizer and the cleaner coming out again. So yeah, I feel like that. The lead attorney says, hey JP, blind guy, his wife, their life, they're getting us ready. Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. My Vivid Life says, hey, at the lead attorney. Blind guy, his wife, their life says, it was IHOP and Family Dollar where they walked out because the business doesn't care about them. So why care about the business? And see, I am at a double-edged sword with it. I am, and it's funny because like I said, me and my husband had this conversation. I am for you sticking up for yourself. But my whole thing is like, wow, like, I don't know. Like, what if that was your business, guys? That's how I'm thinking about it. Like, yeah, y'all like it's Family Dollar in the other place, so they got money, so what? But I'm thinking like, what if it was like a small business, or what if it was somewhere where they didn't make a lot of money, and then you walked out and you set them up for like failure, like you set them up where they could get, ambushed and mobbed, and all the money and the heart that they put into that, they could get taken. And yeah, I know I probably over elaborated and overthought that, but like I said, I'm always for the little people in it. And I know those people would not have walked out unless they were getting paid what they deserved, or they were getting treated like crap. And we all know, guys, you guys know how they treat people in the service industry and the retail industry. You know how they treat them. They don't want to give them sick time hours. They don't want to give them time off. They don't want to pay them the fair share or overtime. So we know the drama that goes into that. Also, I don't know if I posted that on my webpage. I did an article because I do blog, guys, so I do have a webpage too. It's called Millennial Finesse Mindset. But I remember talking about this in another live to you guys, how Chicago, the company that owns, is it Burger King? The company, there's a franchiser guy. He owns like 40 Burger Kings in Chicago, and he's getting sued, and he has to pay the state of Chicago $100,000 to the state of Chicago, and then he owes the workers at his 40 businesses, which are Burger Kings, almost $400,000 in back pay and sick pay. So we know it's prominent, and we know that's just capitalism, and that's America. There's no way they will be making so much money if they didn't undergut and underpay anybody. And another key thing and key quote for you guys to understand and know: if they're paying you $20, you definitely worth $40. If they're paying you $30, you worth $60. So always understand that whatever your job is paying you, you definitely worth double it. They're just making the under end of it so they can afford to have you and make the profit. Okay, so understand that any job you have where you're working for somebody, what they're paying you, you actually work double it. That's facts too. Let's see. All right, blind guy, his wife, their life says, hey there, brother, the lead attorney. So yeah, guys, it's capitalism. It's America at its best. So it's just tough. And I was watching a panel on that, guys, too. Like, one guy was like, well, the companies need to pay people. They need to pay them their what they're owed. And then a lot of small businesses were saying, yeah, we want to pay people what they're worth, but we can't afford it with the overhead. Like, big companies can afford it, but we can't afford to pay them. Do you think that's right, guys? Do you think that it's possible and plausible to pay somebody what they're worth, small or big business? Or do you guys understand the ideals of the economics of having a big, huge business compared to having a little, small, like family or small business? Do you think it can work? I did an article too, guys. I think I do a video over it. I did a video over it, and on my website where I blog at, I did an article over this famous millionaire. He did a startup company. And what happened was he did not, I don't believe he got a salary for like 2 years, 2 or 3. And what he did is he bumped every employee in his business. He bumped them up from, I think, 40,000 to 70,000. So everybody at his job was getting 70,000 or higher. And yep, this was a white person, guys. But still, I just want to put it in perspective. He sacrificed himself as the owner of the business and his salary to help the people. So obviously, guys, if you do a sacrifice like that, your workers are, number one, not going to leave you because you're paying them a living wage. And then number two, you're going to get so much effort into them doing the job for you that you're going to make on the back end triple or quadruple in the years going forward, because they see that you put your heart in them, so they have no problem working for you no matter what. And to me, guys, I can akin that to me being a teacher or coach, to inspire people. Like, I don't really have to do anything when I'm teaching or working with students or anything like that. I tell people, because they always ask me, how do you get them to listen? How do you get the teenagers to listen to you? What are you doing to get them to be motivated and listen? And I say, like, I treat them like I would want to be treated, and I let them know where the respect is going to be at. I never have to tell anybody you're going to respect me. I think you should never have to say that. When you're saying that, you tread in water. But if somebody truly respects you, they're going to do it without you telling them, because there's an understanding that they have about your demeanor, how you carry yourself. And that's one thing with me, especially when students or teenagers or even young people see me. They see the way I carry myself. They see the way that I can control the room. I can get you to listen. And my biggest thing is inspiration. I've learned over the years, guys, if I can motivate you, that's it. You're going to do what I want you to do. You're going to be what I want you to be. You're going to turn out and be amazing if you're inspired. So that's why that is always my number one thing, is to inspire, to get you to have that finesse mindset, which means I can do this no matter what, and I'm going to do it my way and do it the best of my ability. And my biggest thing is to push that out of you. I don't need you to be anybody else. You don't need to be me. You don't need to be Oprah. You don't need to be the person that you inspire or that mentors you or you want to excel to be. You be the best you. That is always my push. And it works. It totally works because it's honest and it is something that's attainable, because you're not trying to be somebody famous. You're not trying to be an athlete. You're not trying to aspire to get what somebody else has. Because as we know, is that famous quote, what God has for you is for you. Nobody can take it. So why should you try to be anybody else? That got me up in here preaching. You shouldn't try to be anybody else. When you're at your best, you're being you. And when you're at your best, you're going to like project it to other people. And then they're going to come and want to help you and do. And then they're going to project that out. So it's like a cyclical cycle. And so I love it. I love motivating. I love positiveness. I love being real and honest, though. I mean, because for me to get you there, we got to get to what the issue is, and we got to get to the realness of the situation. But that's my biggest thing, guys. That motivation aspect, I'm telling you, it will change lives. I know it. I've seen it. Let's see. Blind guy, his wife, they're live. She says, most family dollars are hot and cluttered, plus understaffed, and the IHOPs. You know what? Let me read the rest of her quote before I add my little thing. Most family dollars are hot and cluttered, plus understaffed, and the IHOPs smell funny. They're I'm sorry. Let me finish reading. Okay, blind guy. I love you guys. Blind guy and his wife. Here we go. They said most family dollars are hot and cluttered, plus understaffed, and the IHOP smell funny. Their commercials don't look like that. So you know what? It don't matter where we go, what town we in, when we're traveling. Me and my husband said the same thing, and my kids, what is that smell in IHOP? And guys, listen, I'm aesthetically, my nose, like I can smell everything. Like my smelling is like my smelling and hearing, like I can hear like far, far away. And my nose is very sensitive, very, very sensitive, very sensitive. My sense of smell is just impeccable. I don't know what that smell is when you go on IHOP. It always smells like feet to me, like a dirty floor. And I can akin it to when I used to take my little kids that are older now, but like going to Chuck E. Cheese, like that smell on the floor, like smells like a dirty floor. So I am in agreement with you, blind guy's wife. It's something about that smell. We've been to maybe one IHOP that I can recall where I don't remember smelling that smell, but yeah, you're right. I'm gonna have to concur with you on that. It's something about that smell when you walk in there, and I can't eat if I smell that. We turn it around. Like I can't eat. Let's see. Blind guy, his wife, their life. Right. Do your best and level up as you learn, but don't go for what others say just because they have it. And see that's the lie that's been really pushed, especially with this whole push for life coach, goal coach, all this other crap. Even when you see this, like even on social media and all these things. And like I told you guys, I'm really honestly just getting into social media like a month ago when I started this page, when I started this channel. I'm really not on there. Wasn't on any websites or anything. Didn't really care. Just living life, enjoying my family and friends. Like didn't care. But I understand the aspect of social media and branding and business. So here I am. But yeah, I think it's sad for me when I see people in our culture on social media branding the money part of it, branding having the cars, branding you'll get girls and all this. Okay, yeah, it'll come when you're being yourself, but it should not be a precursor to this is the only thing I want. I want the girls, I want the car, I want the money, but I'm not putting in the work and I'm not authentic. Are you only doing those things to get the money, the girls in the car, or is your heart in the right place and then you just kind of get blessed from what your blessing is or what your gift is? Is that why you're making money or doing what you're doing? And I think his projected so bad on social media. It's so sickening. And it's like I feel like our culture, we snap onto that because we don't mind doing whatever to make some money or make a dollar. We will it's sickening. We will bring down our culture. We will use the naiveness of our culture to make up different things and try to sell them stuff to try to for this aspirational dream and knowing it's not going to work. And I think we just got to get back to community. I think it's so important. We got to really get back to the community and the community helping to teach and raise the kids, and then the kids feeling good about themselves to want to go out. And so when they do, I'm gonna find this video, guys. Oh my gosh, I wasn't even born when the video came out, but it was so neat. It was this guy. It was like I think if you Google Bill Cosby, he did a special. I think back in the '60s or something or '70s. But he did a special, and he was talking about America and how they treated black kids and how black kids are the lowest of everything. Black kids are not inspiring, and he was showing different people that were pushing or propping up the black kids, black culture, and black kids can do and be whatever they want to be. And towards the end, it was so cute and inspiring, guys. I gotta find it, and I'm gonna show you guys. It was this little black kid, and this guy was talking to him, and he said, "You ugly," the little boy. No, the guy told the little boy, "You're ugly." He said, "No, I'm not. I'm black and I'm beautiful." And he said, "Well, no, you're not. You ugly." He said, the little boy's like, "No, I'm black and I'm beautiful." And then he said some other stuff. "Well, you can't do this, and you're not smart." The little boy's like, "No, I'm black and I'm beautiful." So basically, they were teaching these little kids. They were like 2 and 3 affirmations, and he had done it so much with the little kids that let's say a racist or somebody would get in their face and tell them like you ugly or whatever. And a little kid would have so much gumption and so much pride in themselves that, they wouldn't allow them to say it. They would tell them, "No, I'm black and I'm beautiful." And I think we need to get back to that with our kids. We need to aesthetically show a value that it's not all about the money, the cars. It's if you're blessed to have it, you're blessed to have it. But those type of things, I don't like I said, guys, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it because I have nice things. I'm not saying that, but I don't base myself off of my nice things and I don't flaunt it to you. You won't never know what I have because I don't feel like I need to project that to get friends and to get people to like me and get people to want to be around me and listen. I think that's a false narrative when you get to that because it's not sustainable because you're always going to be living a lie. And you always should be like your own true thorough self. You should always do that and be that because it makes life easier to live and you don't have to live a lie and it's more convenient and natural. All right. So with that being said, I thought that was awesome. And I don't think we do that enough. I think we will teach our kids these stupid little songs and jingles, these little rap songs and all these little cussing songs and all this stuff, and think it's so cute and funny when they cuss and they repeat these other words. But we don't give our little kids affirmations to know like who they are when they're younger. So when they get in that situation when they're older, they already have it in them because it's been taught. It's been taught by somebody that they respect. And I'm gonna find that video because I really want to show the different clips of what we used to do in the past because it worked. And then I don't know what happened. I think from the 70s to the 80s, something happened where it just all changed and went to just hell in a handbasket. I don't know what happened, but it changed. My guy's wife. Yep, she says do your best and you level up. Yeah, guys. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let me end with something good because one of my constituents on here in my live said, bring something positive. Say something, bring something positive at the end. So I think I did come with some positive advice for us, especially as a parent and as a instructor facilitator. Let me go back to my notes that I have, guys. Give me 1 second. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you guys share. Make sure you go back, like I said, to that old video that I did, guys, about food shortages and shortages in general. This is going to be really important because if you're listening to the news, you guys know this Delta variant is picking up everywhere. I don't know if you guys have paid attention to that. A lot of hospitals are saying they are at capacity, that they have to go back outside again, guys, and create those makeshift hospitals, which is getting really sad. So make sure that you are aware of that if you don't like to watch the news or you're not paying attention. It's getting real in these streets, guys. It is getting real in these streets. Let's see. This guy is hilarious. Okay, let's see. Somebody said you should. And that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do something to make me distinctly different. I'm gonna do something positive. I mean, when I'm talking, guys, I always try to give a not a conclusion. I always try to give kind of like a means to the end, or I try to like say what you can do to better it on every topic that I talk about. I try to do that, and I try to give like my perspective from the education field, being a coach and instructor. I try to bring it from that field because I know probably 6 out of 10 people have kids in school, or you have a niece or nephew in the school system, or you know somebody, or you have a neighbor kid that you're close to. So I always try to bring kind of that edge to it because I know that does touch a lot of people in some way or another. Well, good grief. Let's see. Right now, Sunny and her songs from too fast. Okay, cool. So let me get some shout outs. I always like talking about things of this nature. It says 8 Black-owned hair care brands you'll want to check out. So let's give some of our people some shout outs. Let's see. All right. So it says let's take a closer look at some of the companies at the forefront of beauty and cultural revolution. So I don't know if I'm saying this right. I think it's Chemet Biologics. Chemet Biologics. There's one company. And she said her hair the founder is Phyllis Butler. She's inspired by African hair, and she deals with hair types 3C, 4C, and 4A. Another company is called Hair Rules, and this guy's name's Anthony Dickey, and he's been for 3 decades on an odyssey to help women make peace with their hard-to-manage hair. And there's Curl Mix, and these people are on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. They were you've seen them on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and Shark Tank. Curl Mix, I think I've seen them Curl Mix before. There's Alakay Naturals. Don't let the founder fool you. Alakay Graham Campbell's only 22 years old when she started making her product. But it says the website allows you to search for products by your hair type. So that's neat. She's smart and innovative. She has hair products by the hair type. So that's different. I've never seen that before, where you can kind of just pick and choose. Eden Body Works, high quality, reasonably priced products for hair beyond the hallmark of Eden Body Works. And she has products as low as $10, under $10. Tropic Isles Living, Michael Anthony Haynes and his wife. So this is a family affair, husband and wife. Lois Haynes have been putting their passion into natural hair for decades. So they do natural hair. Design. I know Design Essentials. I've used them. Have you guys used Design Essentials? My natural hair people. I use them. I like their products. Pattern is another product. I guess this is a line that Tracy Ellis Ross prescribes to. But her hair is already nice, so I don't know how much I can believe when I see something like that. She's already got naturally straight curly hair. When I say straight curly, I mean like the texture of it. It's a loose curl. So there's something to end on a good note, guys. Let's see. I wasn't even reading the chat. Hold on. Let's see. Blind guy, his wife, their life. You got so quiet. I thought you froze. No, I thought you. Oh, I'm sorry. I was trying to find something good. I didn't prepare for the good one on this one, but I will moving forward. Ant says, great conversation. Thank you, Ant. Blind guy, his wife, their life. I don't think I've tried their products. Design Essentials is good. I like theirs, like especially because I don't really rate my hair. I think it's stupid, but I have like a skinny spiral. So what was that called? It's like, was that a 4A? I don't know what that is, or a 3. I don't know. But anyways, like it moisturizes because my hair gets dry really easily. It soaks up stuff. But it has like a tiny curl, like a coily one. So Design Essentials, I like them. They're a good one. They're kind of pricey, but whatever works for our hair. I have 4 heads of hair here. Oh, so that was a good ending. And I'm gonna try to do that. I'm gonna try to do fun fact at the end, or I'm gonna try to say something positive or inspirational. Fun factor. Because sometimes we just want to know some different quirky stuff. We don't want to always stay on topic. At least me. I know that I like hearing just different stuff I never would have looked at. So my family, my friends, everyone, this was so great. I'm getting used to all this camera stuff and staying on here. I didn't even know I could talk this long. But like I say, when it's interesting topics and it's dealing with our culture, our people, our family, and anything to educate other people on us and our walk and how they can help if they want to be allies, I'm for it. So with that being said, this is once again Mrs. B Finesse. If you guys have not subscribed to my channel, I want you guys to do that right now. Right now, I'm going to give you guys good content, good information about things that are going on that you might not have paid attention to, that might have slipped your head. My goal, like I said, as a millennial, is to use my wisdom to educate and on how you guys can live your best life. And life is really just a finesse, which just means you work what you got and you do what you can to be your best finesse life. I'm an educator, life coach, and inspiring author. I will review topics and give my millennial mindset on it. There's no limit to what I will discuss. So with that being said, fam, I appreciate the donations. I appreciate those who clicked on the link. You guys are just inspiring me to be the best and do the best I can and touch so many people in this world, which was my goal when I started this a month or 2 ago. So I look forward to the next conversation. I look forward to coming to your pages, checking out what you guys are talking about. And that will be it, you guys. Have a great day and see you guys. Bye.